G'day everyone, welcome back to another Fossils and Archaeology speed build video. This is one of the biggest builds I've ever done for an enclosure. As you can see right now, I'm cutting out a massive hole in the ground because in this video I am making the Mosasaurus Enclosure. And I've never done an aquatic enclosure in Fossils and Archaeology before because in 1.12.2 there was no aquatic update. And it just made it really hard to make an aquatic enclosure in 1.12. So for this video I wanted to try something a little bit different and I drew up a little blueprint. I'll put it on screen now. Yeah, so as you probably know, the way I usually plan my speed build videos is I place red, blue and yellow wool to figure out where I'm going to put things. But for this, I decided to do things a bit different. I just felt like drawing a little bit. And so I drew up a little design for how I want the layout of this build to look. Also because this build, a lot of it is underwater, so I couldn't place all the wool underground when I haven't even removed the ground yet. But yes, this is the blueprint of how I want this build to look. If you want me to do more stuff like this, I'm thinking I might do it for every video. Let me know in the comments if you liked this and how I've done this. So I was talking to someone in real life who watches my videos and they said they want to know more facts in my videos about the dinosaurs I'm building enclosures for. So here we go. And I'm gonna spread these facts across the video, so I'm just gonna drop them every now and again, but here's one fact. The mosasaur lived about 145 to 66 million years ago during the late Cretaceous. Wow, there's your first fact. And I'll drop another one in. It's not a dinosaur, it's a reptile, and dinosaurs are not reptiles. And they also give birth to live young, even though like modern day reptiles, they don't give birth to live young. This reptile did. And I'm not sure if this is true. I was also reading somewhere that they're warm-blooded, which makes sense because they need to live in the cold ocean. Yeah, that's also interesting. Okay, I'm going to talk about the build for a second here. So one thing about me is that I'm not good with Axiom or World Edit. I'm quite literally the worst at both of them, and I just sort of look sometimes like I am good. But usually instead of using Axiom or World Edit, I just hand place everything. It takes so much longer. And another thing is Axiom isn't even for this version, so I don't know why I'm talking about Axiom. But yeah, so with the terraforming on the side, I know I'm working on the viewing area now, but you'll see more about the terraforming later. I hand placed every block, and it's just something I feel like you can't achieve with World Edit or Axiom. And I feel like that's one of the things that makes my build so unique. I just want the terrain to look very organic. I feel like I've created a style that's sort of my style when I terraform, and I think it's really cool. I'll talk a bit more about the terraform a bit more later when I'm actually working on it again. So right now I'm working on the viewing area, and I wanted to have like a little hall leading out into a big dome viewing area, and the dome was meant to be circle, but it ended up being more of an oval shape, which I like. I actually ended up liking this more, so that's why I didn't change it. And I also got the proportions just a little bit wrong, but I ended up fixing it. I really wanted to make sure that everything was really visible, because with the water, you can't see that far into the water, so I just need to give as much visibility options to the people who are visiting the zoo, just giving them as much options as possible. I think the Fossils and Archaeology devs shrunk the Mosa a bit when they changed this model since porting to the 1.18.2 update, and that's even better for this enclosure because it means that the Mosas have even more room, because it's actually a really big enclosure. I'm really happy with the size of it, even though it took over 4 hours to build. I don't think I would be tackling as many big builds like this in videos if it wasn't for all the support I've been getting from you guys and also my close friends. So with saying that, I actually have 2 announcements to make, and I've already announced them on my community tab, but I'll say them here. I have made a community Discord server. On my Discord server, you can chat with other members of my community, and there's also a channel where you can post the enclosures that you've made. I really want to see what you guys have made, and this is like the best way of me being able to see it. We also have a channel where you can share the photos of animals you took, because I love seeing animals from all around the world. And you'll also get notified when I go live or when I post a video. The next announcement I want to make is that I've turned on memberships on my YouTube. Becoming a member of my channel is one of the best ways you can help me turn this hobby into something I can live off. Obviously no one needs to get a membership, it's fully optional and it's just a good way of supporting me. But some benefits of becoming a member includes loyalty badges. You also get comment emojis. I'll be posting video status updates exclusively to members in my Discord. There's a members only Discord chat, and you'll also get access to Twitch VODs. Now, one of the main benefits of becoming a member is your name will be featured at the end of all my videos. And if you get the better membership, you will get access to my build schematics. I know a lot of people were asking for my build schematic, and it wasn't really something I was too comfortable with sharing with every single person. So I thought if I just share it with the members of my channel, the people who are members are less likely to share my builds and post them in other places. I'll be posting the schematic of this build in the Discord after this video has been posted. But yes, obviously it's optional, and it's just a good way of helping me. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'd know that I'm the absolute worst at doing interiors for viewing areas. It's just something I suck at, and I've tried getting better at. I don't know. I'm still going to keep trying to get better at them. And for this build, I did a cool Mosasaurus art on the wall of the interior of the viewing area. I don't show that until the end of the speed build, but it is there, and I am really happy with it. I also used the Fossils and Archaeology bones to have a Mosasaurus skeleton in the build as well, which I also think is cool. Now, the other day I went to SeaWorld, and going to zoos and water parks is one of my favorite ways of getting inspirations for builds. And the reason why I'm doing a Mosa speed build for this video is because I went to SeaWorld and was inspired by looking out at the shark tank. I even took a video. Let me show you the video on screen right now. When I saw this, I was feeling so absolutely inspired to make an aquatic enclosure in Minecraft, which is why I made this Mosa enclosure for this video. And fun fact, I got home and started building the Mosa enclosure pretty much. The feeling I got when standing in front of the glass looking at all the sharks and stingrays and stuff swimming past was the same feeling I wanted to capture in Minecraft, and also for the thumbnail of this video. And I just want to say really quickly, thank you so much to Shy Not Shy and Spike for helping me out recently with thumbnails. I don't think my videos would have been doing as good if they didn't help me, and I've been learning a lot, and it's been really inspiring to improve the quality of my thumbnails, which is why you'll probably notice the thumbnail quality recently has been a lot better, and I'm going to continue to improve it. This is another video I took of some rays turning around, and I just thought it was so cool. And yeah, this is exactly the feeling I wanted to recreate in this build when you're in the viewing area and you're looking through the glass and you're just looking at the mosas. I really just want this cool feeling of, oh wow, there's some massive prehistoric beasts there. That's so cool. And I've already walked around in the viewing area and it already does feel like that, and I'm really happy with how this build has turned out. So hopefully you feel the same way when I show it off at the end of the video. So as you can see, I spent a lot of time hand placing every single block for the sides of the enclosure to make this beautiful terraforming landscape that the Mosa can live in. And I love this, and sometimes it's very relaxing. Like, I don't always need welder or axiom to do stuff like this, and I also can't achieve this level of detail with building with welded and axiom, which is why I hand placed everything, even though it would have probably taken like 5 times as fast to do it with axiom and welded it. So for the terraforming, I used a bit of a gradient. At the top was ancient stone, then it went into dripstone, then into cobbled light grey terracotta, and then it was light grey terracotta at the bottom. And for the floor of the enclosure, like the ocean floor I guess you could call it, I used a block called dense sand. It's a block from Fossils and Archaeology. It's a very like brownish yellowish sand, and I really like it. You'll see me put it in a second. Here's a little fact for you. Mosasaurs could go from sitting still to reaching 48 kilometers an hour in 1 second. Isn't that crazy? I think that's about 30 miles an hour for you Americans. Yeah, so there's another little Mosa fact for you guys. Alright, so something that's been happening recently is the new Minecraft snapshots for 1.21.5. and these are adding a bunch of new plants and a bunch of new mob variants, and my opinion on them is I am in love. I've always wanted different variants of chickens, cows, and pigs, and now that we're getting them, I'm just so happy. And the plants, in my opinion, are even better than the animals. Obviously with the chickens, we got new eggs, which are pretty cool, but the new plants are amazing. We got the firefly bush, we got the bush, we got the 2 variants of desert grass, we got the cactus flower, the new wild flowers, and the leaf litter. I did do a snapshot video when the first snapshot for 1.21.5 came out, and I think I want to do another video, but not a snapshot video. I want to make this a building video on all the new plants and stuff and how I am going to use them in builds. So is that something you guys would want to see? I know I've been doing a lot of fossils and archaeology, but I still want to mix things up a bit and not just do fossils and archaeology. Alright, I'm going to talk about the build a bit more. So I'm working on the viewing area right now, and I wanted to have 3 viewing areas. One that was above water, one that was sort of on the side of the enclosure, and one that was in the middle of the enclosure. And I don't know why I spent so much time adding details to the one up the top, because it's not the most important one. You don't see the mosas as easily from up there, but I just think it's cool, and I ended up adding a lot of trees and foliage. It's crazy. This enclosure is meant to be a underwater enclosure. I still managed to add like trees and bushes and stuff. I think it was worth adding in the trees and bushes and stuff, because even though it isn't really the point of the build, it's a water habitat enclosure and I'm building trees and stuff, I think it still adds to the experience for the park visitors, and I think it's really nice. So moving on, I got invited by a friend to go watch Jurassic Park with them last night at their house, and I haven't seen that movie in quite a few years, and I forgot how much I love it. But it also reminded me that the new Jurassic World movie trailer came out yesterday, and what is that big red dinosaur? Or it's not red, but like they had like red lights on it all the time. It looked so scary. It looks like that one alien from that Alien movie. I don't watch many movies, so I don't know the name of that alien I'm referencing. But it looks like that alien that's got a big head and doesn't have eyes from that one movie. I'm not sure if you guys get what I'm talking about. I'm guessing it's a mix of a Pachycephalosaurus and a T-Rex, because what other dinosaur has that big smooth bone head? And there was also another dinosaur that looked like a mix of a Mosa and a Spino. It looked like a Spino without the spine, but also a Mosa head, and I don't know, it looked kind of crazy. I'm actually pretty excited for this movie. I'm also pretty excited about Scarlett Johansson being in the movie. She's one of my favorite actors. I first saw her in a movie called We Build a Zoo. It's like one of the reasons I love zoos so much. I've always just wanted to be in a zoo, which is why I love building zoos. So yeah, I'm excited about Scarlett Johansson. But are you guys excited about this movie? Do you guys think from the trailer that's being released it's going to be a worthwhile watch? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Yeah, so now the main part of the enclosure is done and I'm decorating the viewing area, and I decided to do a pixel art of a mosasaur on the wall, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I like doing pixel art every now and again. I don't think I'm that great at it, but I think this one looks really cool. I also added some like kelp seeping up the wall. I don't know if there was kelp back in the time when dinosaurs were alive and like mosasaurs were around in the ocean. And another thing I added to the wall, which you'll see in a second, is a nautilus with a little nautilus guy coming out of the shell. I think it's cool. I think pixel art, or just like adding art to your builds in general, I get Minecraft is an art form, but adding art to blank walls is a great way of adding interest to your builds, and I love this, and I only built it out of terracotta. I think if I used different blocks it might have been a bit better, but I don't know why I made a rule to myself that I would only use terracotta. Alright, we're getting pretty close to the end of the speed build here, and I just want to say thank you for sticking around and listening to me yap for a whole almost 15 minutes. That's crazy. And now it's the tour, so let's get to it. Welcome to the Mosasaurus Enclosure tour. It's right behind me. Over there, that's the Therizinosaurus enclosure I built in the last video. And right here is the Mosasaurus Enclosure. Look at them go! They're so cool, they're having a little swim. Okay, I'm gonna go this way first. So I added these trees. It feels sort of like an alpine environment, like it's sort of alpine-ish, and then it drops off into like the ocean where the moses are. You get a pretty good view from up here. You get to see most of the enclosure. Like you can see the kelp and stuff down there. You can see the moses. I don't know what they're doing. They're having a good time doing circles. I could probably add some benches and stuff up here. I just didn't think of that until like literally a second ago. And then if you make your way down this way, it's another bit of a nature path and it drops down into the viewing area. And I may have flooded it just before I recorded this. But yeah, this is where you get to see the moses. You get a higher view. This honestly isn't the greatest view, but you get to see some at least. You get to see this art I made on the wall here, which is cool. I love this Mosa art. And also the Nautilus art as well. I think it looks like a Nautilus. This is what it's supposed to be based off. Do you think it looks like that? I don't know, but I still think it's pretty cool. And look at this! This is the feeling I want to capture. You know, in the speed build when I was talking about going to SeaWorld and seeing the sharks swim by at the window, this is exactly what I wanted to do. And I know there's 5 moses in here and they're probably really territorial, but for some reason when I was doing some minor changes to the enclosure, they would all hang out in this corner and not go over to the other side. So that's why I spawned a bit more in. And if they are a bit territorial, the lore is that they're in a zoo and I've trained them to be friends with each other. But yes, they seem to be doing a lot of circles, and if I make my way over here, you can see that I've put the skeleton in, and I've also used the dense sand, which is also cool. This is the Mosasaurus skeleton that Fossils in Archaeology have made. I love this. And now if we go over here, this is the coolest part of the enclosure. This view. You can't really see that far into the water over there, but you can see these guys swimming over me. Isn't that awesome? Look at that. Ah, this is sick as. And with the reinforced glass, which is this glass right here, when there's a lot of reinforced glass placed next to each other, it just looks like really clear glass, which is really cool. Something you'll notice, which I didn't mention in the speed build, is that I added a bunch of calamite fences to go along with the kelp, and I think this adds a lot of detail. I also added it here, but here's a bit darker. I really like how there's a really dark part of the enclosure and then a brighter part because of the way that the light is being shined. But isn't this viewing area just the coolest? I'm in love with this viewing area. Something I also did when I spawned them in is I also spawned some coelacanths in to see if they would come attack. And watch this. Look, I think this guy is coming for the coelacanth. Maybe? Yes! Oh, 2 of them are coming! Isn't that awesome? I love that. I'm gonna spawn a bunch more in so they have a bunch to eat. There we go. Tons of coelacanth and now all the moses are coming over. I'm gonna feed these guys over here. Oh no, they're all locked on. If they can fit through. There we go. They're finding their way through. This is awesome. I gave myself conduit power so you guys can see a bit better. But yeah, look at these calamite fences. I love this. Wow, conduit power just lets you see everything so bright. That's crazy. Something I'm unsure about this park is how I'm going to make everything fit together, because at the moment I feel like these 2 enclosures don't fit that well together, because this one is built in my old Fossils in Archaeology style and this one is built in my more new style, and they don't really fit that well together, so I'm going to have to figure out what I can do about this, but I'm not going to remove any of them. As I said in the speed build, this is the first aquatic enclosure I've done, and I think I've done a really good job. So let me know if you like this enclosure or if there's anything you would add. I do wonder if there is a way to automatically breed the coelacanth, so the moses have infinite food without needing a feeder, because there are coelacanth fish eggs which hatch baby coelacanth. I think I'm gonna end the video there though. I've got the members that I've currently got on screen. I've only got 3, so you are the first 3 members on my screen right now. If you're enjoying these people on screen, make sure to become a member. It's a great way of supporting me. I will have the schematic of this build posted in the Discord for my channel members. But yes, I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye everyone. Take care. Bye bye.